In today's video, we are going to talk about linear programming, how we should answer questions in exam under linear programming. If you haven't subscribed yet to the channel, please do so now and let's continue. So yes, we are talking about linear programming, and the first question is here for us. It says Bernie buys X packets of seeds and Y packets of plants for his garden. He wants to buy more packet seed than plant seed, and this is the inequality. That means that you are buying more of X than Y, so X is greater than Y, okay? Now he wants to buy less than 10 packets of seeds. Well, please remember that seed is for X and then plant is Y. Therefore, if you want to buy less than 10 packets of seed, then you can just write X is less than 10, okay? Now, we are also told that he wants to buy at least, that's the key word, at least 2 plants. So Y is greater or equal to 2. Okay, now let's continue. Each of these will just give you 1 mark, okay? So that's why the scheme here is 2 marks. All right, let's continue. We are told that each packet of seed costs $1 and then each plant costs $3. You can spend a maximum amount of $31. What that basically means that X plus 3Y, okay, because this seed is X, plant is Y, so X plus 3Y, and the maximum, that means greater or actually less or equal to 21. You cannot go beyond $21. So this is how you will write down the inequality. All right, now the next thing that they will require you to do is to draw these lines, right? Now there are a few ground rules that we need to keep in mind. Rules, okay? All right, you don't need to write rules in your exam. This is to explain what we are really going to do. There are 2 types of lines that we draw. We have what we call a firm line, okay, and what we call a broken line. These 2 are very, very important. When do we use broken line? Well, we use broken line when you use symbols like equal to, less or equal to, greater or equal to, and then you use a broken line when you use symbols like less than or greater than. Okay, keep these in mind when to use broken line, when to use firm line. In the video, I'll be stressing this till it gets into your head, okay? So don't worry about that. I'll keep repeating myself. All right, so these are the 3 inequalities that we have. Let's write them here so we can take them down there. So we have X is less than 10, Y is greater or equal to 2, and then X plus 3Y is less or equal to 21. All right, so let's take these inequalities down there so that we can work with them. I don't want to keep doing up and down. All right, so these are the inequalities that we have. Now, first, they have drawn our Y equals X for us. We thank them very much. The next thing for us to do is to draw X is less than 10. Like I told you earlier, if it is less than, we use a broken line to do it. So you come to where the 10 is and then use a broken line, okay? Now, they said X is less than 10. So please note that if you are to shade the region which is less than 10, you go this side, okay? You go to your left side. Now, the next thing that we do is Y is greater or equal to 2. Well, for greater or equal to, it's a firm line, all right? A very firm line. So this is what you have. Then finally, you have this one to sketch. Well, you can just use when X is 0, what will Y be? Well, when X is 0, you have 3Y is less or equal to 21. So when you divide 3 by 3, you have 7, okay? So 0, 7 is here. And when Y is 0, X is 21. And 21 is here. Remember that it is a firm line, a very firm line. So let's draw that one too. Okay, a firm line like this. Okay, in fact, I forgot to indicate one thing. For the blue line, that's Y is equal to, Y is greater than or equal to 2. If we are to shade, you shade upwards, right? Okay, and the line that we just drew it says that it's less or equal to 21, right? So what I want you to do is choose any 2 points, one above this curve and one below, and see which will satisfy the equation. I'll just choose a point which is below. I want to choose this point 0, 0. If x is 0, y is 0, then 0 plus 0 is 0, and 0 is less or equal to 21, okay? So that means that if I were to shade, I will shade downwards. Okay, now you are not done. You see this thing that they drew for you, it was an inequality earlier. They said that x is greater than y, okay? So let me write that inequality here. X is greater than y. You also need to know where you shade of this line. If x is greater than y, then you are shading towards the bigger value, which is x. So you are shading towards here. Now, what do they want? They want you to shade the unwanted region, okay? So this is what I will do. I'll just choose a cool color, probably this color, and then I'll start shading. If I take this line, I like the arrow downward. That means that I want to shade in the opposite part, every part, okay, in the opposite segment of this arrow. So I'm just going to shade the whole of, oh, it's too small. I think I can increase the size a little. Yeah. So you just shade like that, okay? In the exam, just make your shading nice. This is YouTube, all right? I'm not bounded to do cool shading, but I'm trying my best. But in the exam, you are going to be graded, so just make sure you get a nice shading for your work. Okay, so I've shaded one line, all right? Now the next thing that we need to do is to take another line. You see this line, the arrow goes this way, so we want to shade everything back of it. So we just shade here. All right, we just shade here. Okay, now let's go to the blue line. Well, for this blue line, the arrow goes up, so we shade everything below. All right, so we shade here. Finally, take the black broken line, this one. Okay, the arrow goes to your right, so you are going to shade to your left. So this is the smaller space left for you to shade. Okay, so basically you are done. All right, so you do this, look, you get 5 marks. So, I mean, cool like that, right? Now they said that Bernie buys 8 packets of seeds. Find the maximum amount of plants that he can buy. Well, go to the seed axis. X-axis is seeds. He bought what? 8. Come to 8. Can I get maybe black? No, let's use blue, which is going to be obvious. So if, let's say you are on the 8th line, okay? Truth is, you get the maximum that you can get in this region R, okay? The maximum that you can get is this point, which is 4 point something. But remember that the discussion is about seed and plants. You can't get a decimal plant or a decimal seed. So you choose the highest whole number, and that is what is 4, all right? So your answer is 4. Now, just you take your eraser and then, holy, I wanted to erase it, so let me erase it. I want to get something neat. So like I said, the maximum is 4, okay? So we put 4 down. All right, then they are telling us that find the total cost of these packets of seeds and plants. You know that seed is 8, and then plants we have 4, okay? But they want what total cost. Now go to the inequality that contains the cost, and that is this inequality. It is the inequality that contains cost because it talks about the cost of both plants and seeds, okay? Now, it's what? X plus 3y is less or equal to 21, right? So you have x plus 3y is less or equal to 21. Now, you don't fully need everything here. All that you need is the x plus 3y, okay? Now, what you have to do, we said x is 8 and then y is 4, right? So we put it here, and that is 12 plus 8, giving us 20. So our answer is 20. All right, and then you are done. Okay, so let's look at the next question. It talks about Ali. It says that Ali buys rose bushes, which is X, and then lavender bushes is Y. Okay, I like to keep in mind what I'm looking at. Rose is X, lavender is Y, so that you don't make any mistake. All right, now he buys all these information here. We should write down 4 inequalities in terms of X and or Y to show this information. Okay, so we start with the first one. What happens? He buys at least 5 rose bushes. That means that X is greater or equal to 5, right? Then the next thing that they are telling us is that at most 8 lavender bushes. That means Y is greater or equal to 8. Then followed by at most 15 bushes in total. So that means that both the lavender and then the rose, so X plus Y, is at most, so that's less or equal to 15. Then finally, more lavender than rose bushes. So that means Y is greater than X because it's more than X. Okay, cool. So now you have your 4 inequalities here. The next thing that they want you to do is to draw these 4 straight lines, and then you label the region R. Okay, so that is true. I mean, the region which is true in all cases. All right, so first I would like us to probably copy this thing. Okay, and then paste it somewhere. Can we shrink it? Yeah. So we paste it somewhere here so that we can look at it and then work with it. Okay. So the first one says X is greater or equal to 5. So that means that we need a very firm line. So X is greater or equal to 5. You come to the X-axis, you locate your 5, and then you draw that. Now, the next one is Y is less or equal to 8. That one too is a very firm line. Go to the Y-axis, you locate your 8, and then you draw. Then you have X plus Y is less or equal to 15. Before we even go there, I keep forgetting this thing, but we have to do it. We said the first one is X is greater or equal to 5. That means that X is increasing, is going to the right of that line. And then Y is less than or equal to what? 8, right? So that means that Y is going downwards because it's less than or equal to 8. Okay, now let's go to X plus Y is less or equal to 15. If X is 0, Y is 15, so that's right here. And if Y is 0, X is also 15, that's right here. So we draw this particular line, and then it looks beautiful like this. That line too, you have to investigate it. Choose any point up and or above it, and then use to test. I'll choose the point down it, which is 0, 0. If X is 0, Y is 0, 0 plus 0 is 0, and 0 is less than or equal to 15. Therefore, that arrow actually goes down, which is true. Then you have finally X is greater than Y. So the first thing you want to do is to sketch X equal to Y, okay? But remember that you are dealing with greater than X. Y is greater than X. It's not greater or equal to. So you are going to use a broken line. Keep that in mind, a broken line. Now, if you want to do X equals Y, then make sure that when it is 1, when X is 1, Y is 1, they probably do 4, 4. It's like the same thing coming up. So 10 will also work with 10. Then 15 will work with 15. So that is basically the line that you are going to draw. But make sure that it is a broken line. It is very, very important. Cambridge will check it. If it is not a broken line, you will be marked down. Now, one final thing that we need to do, they said that X is greater than what Y is greater than X. That means that the arrow should move toward the Y-axis. That's the greatest part. Okay, so how do all of these make sense to us? Well, don't worry, start shading. If you take this one, all right, the arrow is going to the left, so you shade everything to the right. So this is what you have. Everything to the right of it will look like this. All right, so be quick in your shading too. In as much as you want to do a neat work, that doesn't mean that that's the only question you are answering in the exam room. So you need to be very, very quick. All right. Use like 30 seconds to shade, and then we move on. Okay, so I'm almost done with this shading. Okay, I think this is good enough. Well, the next thing says, let's take which line? Right, take this line. Okay, the line Y is let's equal to 8. The arrow goes down, so I'll just shade everything up at the on top of it. So that means that I'm going to just shade something like this. All right, something like this. So yeah, in the meantime, you should check on the channel for more videos on extended maths. I think I have a video on similarities, so you can check that thing out. And then circle theorem is also available on the channel. In the coming days, I'll keep uploading, so make sure you turn on the notification so that you don't miss it. All right, then the next thing that we want to look at is this line. Okay, the arrow goes to your right, so you have to shade everything to your left. So that would look like this. All right, so you just shade according to the lines. Okay, choose one line you shade, you choose another line you shade. So quickly, we are done. Now this region, ladies and gentlemen, is the region that we will name R. Okay. All right, maybe I think I can beautify it a little bit. Yeah. Okay. I think we now have a perfect shading. Cool. Then we are told that the rose bushes cost what? 6. We know rose is X, and then lavender costs this, which is Y. So your cost function is now 6x plus 4.50y. Okay, they said that we should find the greatest amount that greatest amount of money Ali could spend, right? Now your answer is right here in the region R. Now this is what you must keep in mind. You should never choose an answer on the broken line. It is not true, because it is not equal to. It is either greater than or it is less than it. It can never be equal to. Hence, under no circumstance should you choose an answer in the broken line or on the broken line. Okay, I think I made an omission here. We should have shaded this place. Okay, so that's it. Now that means that we need to choose the vertices. Okay, we are going to choose this vertex. We are going to choose this one, two, this. Oh, we can choose that one. All right, this we can choose this vertex because it's on the broken line as well, and this vertex is also on the broken line. So we have 2 points. We have 5, 8 that we can use, and then we have 7, 8. Which of these 2 points will give us the biggest answer? Well, you don't do both on the answer booklet. Just use your calculator to verify it out. Put any of these right into this and see which answer you will get. Okay, so I know that this one is the answer. So 6 into 7 plus 4.50 into 8. Okay, I know that gives the greatest answer, so I'm not going to waste your time. But you can verify the other one out. It wouldn't be the greatest answer. The greatest answer is 78. Okay, you know what? Let's just verify that out and let's see. 6 times 5 plus 4.50 times 8, and that gives us 66. So like I said, the answer is 78. Okay, now let's move on to the next question. So that question says that the school cook buys potatoes in small sacks of 4 kg and the large sacks 10 kg, right? Now small sack is denoted by X, large sack is denoted by Y. So I can just say small is X and then large is Y, so that I don't forget. I mean, I know myself, I keep forgetting stuff. Now they said I show that this is the case. Well, they said that the small one is 4 kg, so we can write 4x, and the large one is 10 kg, so that's Y. and then the school is buying less than 80. So everything, the sum of this is less than 80. Now, if I decide to divide through by 2, I have 2x plus 5y is less than 40. And that's exactly what they wanted me to show. So I'm done with that. Then the next thing that they want me to do, they keep on with the B. They said that he buys more large sacks than what? Small one. Which one is the large? That's the Y. So we can just say that then in this case, Y is greater than X. Then he buys no more than 6 large sacks. So that means that Y is less or equal to 6. No more than 6 means from 6 downwards. Okay, 6 and below. All right, so we have our 3 inequalities, 1, 2, 3. Now the question goes on to say that we should grade everything that we've done, those 3 straight lines, and then we should shade the unwanted region. Okay, now let's just rewrite everything here, and then we can copy it, take it down there. All right. Okay, so I can use this one is less than 40. And then we have y is greater than x, and then y is less or equal to 6. Okay, so we can just copy this guy and then move it down there so that we don't have to do up and down. Can we put it here? That's cool. Okay, so the first one, we have, that's our 2x plus, yes, 2x plus 5y is less than 40. So if x is 0, then you have 5y is less than 40. That makes y is less than 8, right? So that point could be here, right? If if x is 0, y is 8. If y is 0, then x is going to be 20, right? Yeah. Okay. So we can rule, but remember that the inequality here is less than, so use a broken line. Okay, use a broken line like this. And now try and then see where the arrow will go. Choose any point above or below. And I'm going to start with below. If it doesn't work, then that means that the above is true. So I start with 0, 0. If x is 0, if I put 0 here, put 0 there, the answer is 0 is less than 40, which is true. Hence, the arrow goes down. All right, then I have this one, y is greater than x. First, look for line y equals x. Let's do that. And remember that it is greater than, so that is going to be a broken line. So line y equals x, just do any x value should have a corresponding y value. So if x is 5, y is 5, they meet here. If x is 9, y is 9, they meet there. You cannot go beyond, because if x is 10, you don't have the corresponding y. If x is 15, you don't have the corresponding y. So you just end here. And then we rule from the origin all the way. Okay, so this is something that we have. Now you also have to investigate the line. They said that it's greater than y is greater than x. That means that the arrow should move towards the y-axis. Then finally, y is less or equal to 6. That has to be a firm line, okay, because it has the or equal to symbol. Okay, so now that one, they said is less than, okay, so that means it's going downwards, all right? It's going downwards. Now we have something like this. How do we shade? Well, you can just take this one first, probably this line, okay? They said arrow is going downwards, so everything on the back, we have to shade it. So quickly, let's do that. Let's not waste time at all, so we can have something like this. Quickly. All right. So we are almost done shading. Okay. So we are done. Then the next thing that you want to do is to probably grab this line that is called y is greater than x, and then we know the arrow is going to the left, so we shade everything to the right. So we shade everything to the right, which is just here. All right, so we are basically done. Okay, then we take this line, called line y is less or equal to 6. That arrow goes down, so we shade everything above it. So basically, we are just shading this small space here like this, and then we are done. So this that we have achieved is our required region. Okay, they didn't say that we should call it R, so we just leave it like that. Then we are told that we should find the greatest mass of potatoes that the cook can buy today. Well, greatest mass, well, that the cook can buy, if we go back, you see that they told us that from the preamble here, we were able to achieve this inequality. Let me change the color. We were able to achieve this inequality based on the mass of potato, okay? The small mass, the large mass that they can buy in a day today. Okay, so this is the inequality. 4x plus 10y is less than 80. That was the inequality. So 4x plus 10y is less than 80. But like I said, we are not interested in that less than 80. Our interest is on the 4x plus 10y. Okay, so now we need to work around it and see how we can find the answers that we want. Now, remember, I told you that under no circumstance would you want to use any of the vertices on the broken line. Now, we have a broken line. So that means that there's only one firm line. Therefore, the answer must be on this firm line. Now, these are the answers. You may want to work with 0, 6, 1, 6, 2, 6, 3, 6, 4, 6. Okay, any of these would be the answer. But you can just take your calculator and check it out, because the key word is the greatest mass. So you can just use your calculator to do this. I have put 10x plus 4x plus 10y on my calculator. And then when I choose the point 0, 6, okay, the answer that I get, I'll just write these points down, and then we'll write the answer later for you to see which one is the greatest answer, instead of me just telling you. Okay, but I believe that by now you have a pretty good idea of what the answer will be. So if we put into this particular formula, the answer for the first one, I got 60. Okay, my calculator told me that it's 60. You could get something else. Maybe I am making a mistake. Who knows? This is 64. The next one is 68. The next one is 72. And the next one is 76. So obviously the greatest is 76. So what you have to do is that you write 4 into 4 plus 10 into 6, giving you 76. So your answer is 76. Okay, and then you are good to go. Now let's look at this final question for today. So we are told that we should find the equations of these lines. Okay, so we can start with probably this line. It's the easiest to find. It's a firm line. Okay, so even they said the equation, not inequality, so it's even easier. We can just say that this is y equals 2. All right, then let's go to line L2. Now this is a cool line that has a gradient. Okay, and the gradient, we can clearly see that you can use this. You can form any triangle, basically any triangle from here, and then you can use rise, okay, over run to always find your gradient. If you look at the line, it is positively sloping, okay, like that, and then the rise is from this all the way to here, which is 4 units, and the run is from here all the way to this place, and that's 2 units. So your gradient is 2. So you have y is equal to 2x plus c. Now, how do we find the intercept? Well, the intercept, which is c, is the part that it crosses the y-axis. and that's 0. So that means that L2 is basically y equals 2x, okay? Now let's talk about L3, this guy. That one too, you can find your gradient. You can even use the entire thing, like rise, okay, over run. Okay, the rise is you are rising how many units up? 5. And then the run, how many units? You are moving all the way from 0 to 10, so 10 units. So that means that your gradient is half, right? But you are not done. Be careful, because if you look at this, it is downward sloping. That means that your gradient is negative, okay? So that means you have negative half x plus c. What is c? Well, c is the y-intercept, where it's crossing the y-axis, and that is 5. So you can just clean the c and then put 5 there. So you have all your 3 equations beautifully like that. Okay, so I'm just going to clear these things to make our work nice. You can roll back the video and then copy it or something like that. Like I always do, the worksheet is also in the description, so you can have access to it as and when you like. So we can say that L1, let's write in black, L1 is y equals 2, then we have y is equal to 2x, then finally y is equal to negative half x plus 5. Okay, you do this for 5 marks. This is not a joke. I mean, 5 marks is huge, so make sure you score every single thing. Then they are even dashing us 3 marks again. What do they want? The things that we've done, we should just get it in the inequality form, okay? Let's start with the L1. If you look at the L1, they shaded in relation to upward, okay? That means that y is what? Is greater or equal to 2, okay? It satisfies all that range of values, so y is greater or equal to 2. Now let's go to L2. L2, they shaded to the right. That's where R is. Okay, so if they have shaded to the right, what do you have? You have y is equal to 2x. So it's either you get y is less or equal to 2x, or y is greater or equal to 2x, right? But remember that this is a firm line, so we are going to use any of these, okay? We can't use greater or less than. That means that it should have been a broken line, but it's a firm line, so we use or equal to. Okay, now you need to check which one is true. Okay, you have 2 cases, case 1, case 2. Which one will you choose? Well, choose any point in the shaded region R and see if it will satisfy any of them. Then you choose the one that it satisfies. So in this shaded region, I can choose this point, 3, 3. Okay, this place, let me highlight with the blue. This is 3, 3. I'll put it there and see which one is true. Okay. Now, if I choose 3, 3 and I put it in the first case, I have this will become 3 is equal to 2 into 3. Okay, actually 3 is less or equal to 2 into 3, which will give me 3 is less or equal to 12. And this statement is true, right? Okay, it's actually 3, 3. So 3 is less or equal to 6. I beg your pardon. All right, 6. So that means that case number 1 is true. So I don't even have to check case number 2 because I know this case is wrong. So I'm just going with the first case, which is y is less or equal to 2x. Okay, then finally, I'm going to test this guy. Okay, that's y3. Also, we can choose the same point, 3, 3. Let's put it here and see if it makes sense. Or you can just put 3, 3 there without inequalities and later on impose the inequality on it. If x is 3 and y is 3, you have this into 3 plus 5. Okay, so let's finish and see. This is negative 1.5, right, plus 5. And that should be 3.5. So that means that basically your inequality should be this to make sense, because it can be 3 cannot be equal to 3.5, right? It is actually less or equal to. So that is the inequality that you are going to use, that y is less or equal to negative half x plus 5. And that gives you your extra 3 marks. Okay, let's move on. They are saying that a gardener buys x bushes, y trees, The cost is for bush is that, so that's 30x, and then for trees 200, so that's 200 y, right? Then the next thing that we need to do is that they said the shaded region R shows the only possible numbers of bushes and trees that the gardener can buy. So we should do what? We should find the number of bushes and number of trees when the total is what? 720. So how can we get our x and y to make this thing equal to 720? Right. So basically that's what they are saying. Now come here. They said the region R is what we are going to use. So come to the region R. Okay. What you might want to do is to basically use these vertices to see. Okay. These vertices to see if you get 720. All right. So on your calculator, you can just put 30x plus 200y to see if you can get 720. So I'm going to put 30x plus 200y on my calculator. Then I'll start with this point. That's when x is 1, y is what? Is 2. So I have x is 1, y is 2. And that, ladies and gentlemen, gives me 430. So that's not the answer I want. I have 2, 4. So I can check it out. X is 2, y is 4, and that is 860. So it's way above 720. I don't want that. So I'll finally come here. X is 6, y is 2, and that gives me 580. So when it happens like this, students are like, oh God, today is the day I get this part wrong. Well, don't worry. The easiest route is the route that you've taken to look at the vertices to work out. But if the vertices do not work out, the next thing you do is to check the other 9 points on it. For example, this point, that point, and what other points? Probably this point, that cool point on it that you can check all out. So let's start with this point. This is 2, 2. So if x is 2 and y is 2, I get 460. It is not true. If x is 3 and y is 2, I get 490. Not true. If x is 4 and y is 3, I get what? Oh, and y is 2, sorry. I get 520. Then let's check this one too. X is 4, y is 3. So if x is 4, y is 3, yes, 720. So that means that we are going to use this point. What is it? We are using the point 4, 3. So we can say that since this is the case, x is for bushes and y is for trees. So we can say you are buying 4 bushes and then 3 trees. Okay? So that's how you do it. Basically, the answer is always going to be around it. Okay? Sometimes it's not like, I don't want to say always, like 99.99% of the case is going to be on the perimeter of the shaded region. Just only on really rare cases that the answer would be inside it. Okay, so let's finalize it here. It says that find the number of bushes and the number of trees that will give the greatest possible cost. Okay, they want cost. Do we have anything that comes with cost? Yes, this is the inequality. We don't have any, yeah. So the only inequality that comes with cost, okay, is the 30 and then the 200. So let's rewrite it here. I like to rewrite. It helps me know exactly what I'm doing. Now, what I want to do is to get an answer that will give me the greatest what? Cost, right? And that cost is actually going to be on the, how do you call it? On the perimeter of it. Now, I don't want you to worry yourself. When you were looking for the cost of 720, you got a huge cost at 24. They said 860 or something like that. So that's basically what we are going to do, 24. So that's the point we are using. So using the point 24, okay, 30 into 2 plus 200 into 4. This is the greatest cost that we are going to get. Let me see. 2 into 4. Yeah, we got 860. Okay, so that is the greatest cost. So you write that one here, that is 860. and the bushes in this case is 2, and the trees in this case is 4. Okay, and then you are done. So basically, this is where we end our discussion on linear programming. In the coming days, I'll do a video on how to ace exam questions on graphs of function. So look forward to that video. But until we meet again, take care of yourself. See you another time.